Happy New Year, Fairbanks! I hope you had a wonderful holiday season and you're ready to enter 2025 with renewed hope and optimism. I know I am, and I'm really excited to join you for a new Fairbanks Fireside chat. In lieu of the Carrick Capital Connection this week, I just wanted to give a broad overview of what we're looking at heading into this legislative session starting mid-January of this month, and what we can expect going forward from the legislature. So this year is going to be a really big year, and I know we say that a lot, and it happens every year that it's a big year, but this one feels particularly momentous. I was proud to announce a few weeks ago that I am now a member of the House Majority Coalition, the incoming leadership in the Alaska State House. And in that role, I'll be able to serve as the House State Affairs Committee Chair. I'll also be able to serve as the co-chair of the House Transportation Committee, another powerful committee serving the entire state. I'll get to serve as a member on several other committees yet to be announced, so stay tuned for that information soon. And I'm just really excited to be a member of the Interior Delegation and to get to continue to work with all of my colleagues and with all the members of this community. Coming up this session, we have a lot on the docket. We know that in the big picture, we expect to see oil at under $70 a barrel. Those low prices are going to set the tone for the very tough conversations that are likely to happen this coming session. We know that setting our annual operating budget is the only sole obligation of the legislature during session, and so this will end up coloring the entire conversation we have on the budget this year. The governor has recently proposed a deficit budget of $1.5 billion. Clearly, this is an unrealistic starting point, and we have a lot of work to do to ultimately get to a balanced budget that ideally doesn't draw too heavily from our savings accounts. We also know that our state is struggling to meet some of its constitutional obligations, and I want to talk a little bit about a couple of those. The top one, of course, being education. I know K-12 education and post-secondary education, Go Nanuks, is on a lot of people's minds. And as we head into this session, we also know that our own school district here in the Fairbanks North Star Borough has assumed up to a $32 million deficit. Right now, they're projecting a budget to the legislature which only includes a $16 million deficit, and that would still lead to the closure of up to 5 schools in our Fairbanks area. And that is with the assumption of a $680 base student allocation, our education funding formula increase for this year. I hope to see that happen, and hopefully even more for education this year. But it's going to be a decision of the entire legislature, and it's going to be a very difficult conversation either way for our local schools. We also know that at our University of Alaska system, there is a massive deferred maintenance backlog, and it calls into question whether we are properly addressing the need to adequately maintain our education system across our state. 40% of the deferred maintenance in the entire state's system is within the University of Alaska, and 40% of that deferred maintenance backlog is at our very own flagship campus at UAF. So going forward, I want to find a way to address this deferred maintenance, and the $60 million requested by the Board of Regents this year to help combat this backlog was not funded in the governor's budget. At the same time, I want to highlight, when it comes to education, some of the many ways our students are succeeding. Outcomes have improved and test scores have continued to improve post-COVID in these last couple of years. The University of Alaska's enrollment is increasing, and it has continued to increase, and that's really exciting. We also have new opportunities on the horizon. For example, just this last session, my legislation to make the Technical Vocational Education Program, or TVEP, providing $15 million of education funding for technical and vocational education across the state, became permanent in another vehicle of legislation. We also saw the start of funding for achieving coveted R1 research status for our university system. And I hope to see that effort continue because our Arctic University deserves that investment, and we deserve to be a countrywide and global leader in Arctic research. And we already know that we're able to do that. We also have fixed cost increases for the University of Alaska, which were funded in the governor's budget. And I'm excited to see that because ensuring we have stable faculty and staff positions at the university is critical for moving forward on any of these other priorities. Moving forward, though, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of other major priorities that will come up this session. One is public safety. We know that there's an increase in the budget this year for the Village Public Safety Officer or VPSO program, and I'm excited to see that. I got to travel to rural Alaska this year, and I've gotten to travel to our rural communities in the past, and I know how important this funding is and these officer positions are for those communities. I also know that this coming session, energy will be a top issue once again for the legislature's consideration. Achieving affordable and available energy sources for every community across Alaska is a massive priority for the House Majority Coalition, for myself, and for so many others in our state. And I'm really grateful to have partnered with and worked closely with several energy providers, including the Interior Gas Utility here in Fairbanks, our Shovel Creek Wind Farm development, and Alaska Renewables, and others who are working hard to bridge the gap and make energy more available and affordable for all of our residents. Additionally, I'll be personally focused on how we can build Alaska, supporting emerging economies such as our tourism industry, where here in Fairbanks locally we see equal revenue from our winter and summer tourism. Such an exciting thing for the interior, and it's a renewable and regenerative economy that can help to continue to build Alaska. So I'll be excited to look into that as well as other potential opportunities for private investment around the state. Ultimately, I'm just really glad to be able to serve you here in West Fairbanks. We live in a beautiful, amazing, vibrant, and connected community, and I've been really grateful to connect with so many of you throughout these last few months and continuing forward as we head into the legislative session. If there's one thing I want everybody to know here today, is that you can get in touch with me. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime over email. That's rep.ashley.carrick, C-A-R-R-I-C-K, @akleg.gov. We'll get you signed up for our e-newsletter list. You can also send us an inquiry, a comment, a question, a specific problem you're having with state government anytime, and we'll work hard to help you out. Additionally, you can continue to stay in touch on my social media at Rep Carrick on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'd love to connect with you there. And if you ever have any specific questions or just need a little bit of information this coming session, please also remember to call my office directly. Our number here in Fairbanks is 907-452-6084. And you can reach us in Juneau on that line. However you reach out, we would love to connect with you and to stay in touch throughout this session. I've got some Carrick Community Coffees coming up this week, and going forward as we head into the session, you'll see more of those advertised. However you choose to connect, thank you, Fairbanks, for taking the opportunity to sit with me, to learn with me and from me, and allow me to learn from you. And I really look forward to connecting this session and beyond. Have a great new year!